Welcome back to the channel. You're with the Walking Cruiser and I'm aboard the Sky Princess on a 5-day Scandinavian sampler in May 2024. In this video, we'll do a walking tour deck by deck, show you all the different areas of the ships, all of the restaurants, all of the bars, the entertainment videos, both on the inside decks and the outside decks at the top of the ship. The Sky Princess launched in 2019. It has 19 decks and can hold up to 3,660 passengers. And this cruise was a 5-day Scandinavian sampler left from Southampton in UK and stopped on Oslo in Norway and Skagen in Denmark. And I'll give you the best highlights of those stops as well. Starting with the Piazza, which is the heart of the ship, and it's on deck 5, but you can see it really from deck 6 and 7 as well. It's right in the center of the ship, the heart of the ship. All of the entertainment is centers from here. So there's shows throughout the day, in the evening, live music. Starting on deck 7, the promenade deck, you'll find at the back of the ship the Vista Lounge. This is a big lounge that hosts a lot of the daytime and evening activities. In the evening, you'll find things like comedy shows, and in the daytime, there'll be bingo and quizzes. Exiting the Vista Lounge, you'll find yourself in the Crown Grill bar. Another entertainment venue is a piano there for live music, and a fully stocked bar. And the Crown Grill restaurant is one of the specialty restaurants on board. So for a supplement, you can dine here. And it specializes in steaks. Now we had a dining package that included 2 specialty dining restaurants, so we were lucky enough to dine here. And I have to say, highly recommend it. It was one of the best dining experiences we had on boards, and we did book it early. So I would recommend you do that as well. Having a scan through the menu here, you can see plenty of tempting options, including a surf and turf for an additional $10 supplement. Now, I mentioned we were on a dining package which included the Crown Grill. I had the scallop starter, mixed salads, beetroot and goat's cheese salad, starters were excellent, not too filling, leaving lots of room for steak. And the salt was a feature at this restaurant. They made a point of offering 3 different types of salt: black, pink, and a smoked salt. So you did get to try all of those and choose which one you like. And an amazing dessert selection. Exiting the Crown Grill now, heading forward on the promenade deck 7. And I'll take you through to the rest of the deck 7 and plenty of comfortable seating areas. That was one good thing about the ship. Did seem that there were lots of nice areas to sit and relax. And the next venue we'll come across was the Princess Live. So this was a very lively area. If you like a quiz, this was the place to be. Plenty of quizzes going on here throughout the day, as well as different art auctions. Complete with its own bar, the Princess Live Bar, which is fully stocked and had a coffee machine as well, if you're looking for a specialty coffee. So one thing I'd like to tell you about is the technology on board Princess Cruises. They have the medallion, which is a small disc that would act as your cruise cards. So this medallion holds all of your account information, so you're paying for that. But it had a way, rather than just scanning it, is even your proximity, it could sense that, and the crew would know who you were even before you needed to scan your medallion. So it really did speed up the service and made it. And back into the Piazza, as I said, you can overlook from deck 7 and get a great view of the Piazza area. There are some casual dining restaurants on board. Alfredos Pizzeria is one, located on deck 7. And the Ocean Terrace seafood bar, also on deck 7. So when you have a premium package, you can also dine at the casual dining without paying the cover charge. We did try the Ocean Terrace seafood bar, and had a nice seat overlooking the Piazza. So for this menu, it is a set menu, free if you have the premium package, or $14.99. You can pay extra to dine here, and it's a set menu, $14.99 per person, and includes starter, sushi, and a salad. Everything was made fresh. The sushi chefs are making it there on site while you wait, and served all together with some condiments. Continuing forward on deck 7, we enter a retail shopping area. There's quite a few shops here. Some at the higher end of the spectrum price-wise is typical duty-free with the cosmetics, cigarettes, alcohol, etc. And a lot of retail shops of clothing, bags. In the center, there was a lot of room where they would do special shopping events. So sales, Baltic Amber, Gemstones, and then even $10 events, which were my personal favorites. And at the very front of the ship is the Princess Theater. So this is the main theater production space for the big shows. There were 2 production shows during our 5-day cruise. So when there weren't production shows, they would also use this space to host seminars, talks, and other vocalist performances. So you can access from deck 7 for the higher seats, but there's also entry through the casino on deck 6 for the lower seats. My personal thoughts on the production shows were they're very high quality, but taste-wise, just not really my thing. A lot of the entertainment I found on this Princess cruise was mostly live bands and not to my taste. If you've watched my other videos, for example on Virgin Voyages, you'd see those cruises have more entertainment options and not solely around live bands, live music. Now, that's just my opinion. As I said, everything was very high quality, just not to my taste. So if live music, vocalists, and quizzes aren't really your thing, then this entertainment wouldn't be for you. Also on Deck 7, the Catch by Rudi, which is another specialty restaurant that we tried during our cruise. The speciality here is seafood, of course. Including lobster, fresh lobster for a $30 supplement on top of the menu cover charge. And the menu, lots of seafood options. I did choose the lobster, of course. They offer complimentary champagne regardless of your drinks package, and desserts, starters. Everything was amazing here. Presentation was excellent, with the fish being prepared for you right at your table. And again, I would recommend booking these specialty restaurants in advance. You can do so on the app before your voyage to avoid disappointment. Yeah, plenty of sides on a big main. Lucky to have room left for dessert. On Deck 6 now, at the very front of the ship, is the casino, the Princess Casino. It's a fairly large casino, has both a smoking section and non-smoking section. Table games, slot machines, and also poker. If you're a poker player, there was cash tables as well as tournaments. Specifically on the CJs, there were poker tournaments. A good variety of slot machines in here. I have to recommend that you don't gamble, of course, but if you do, it can be good entertainment. Just stick to a budget, as you know the house always wins. Exiting the casino on Deck 6, in front of us is the aptly named Good Spirits at Sea cocktail bar. There's some cocktail demonstration shows there, and on the right is the photo studio. There were professional photographers all over the ship, and using face recognition, you could see the photos that they took the very next day. With the premium package, you had unlimited downloads and 3 free printed photos. Here we have an art gallery. These artworks were for sale. They did art auctions in the Princess Live on Deck 7. Get to know your crew, all the senior crew members. first of the 3 main dining rooms I'll show you is the Cielo dining room. It's on deck 6, but very important, you cannot walk through from the middle of the ship. You have to enter this restaurant from the aft, the back elevators or stairs on deck 6. And that is important to note if you have booked the chef's table, because this is the chef's table area where they have a specialty dining package that isn't included in any dining package, but you do get a special menu prepared by the chefs. We didn't experience this on this cruise, but I want to show you the area. And the second main dining room on deck 6, this is accessed from the center of the ship, is the Estrella dining room. There's not a lot of difference between the 3 main dining rooms, but I still recommend you try each of them if your cruise is long enough. We found the decoration lovely and the menu options plentiful, and really good quality food and service. We're down to deck 5 now, where you'll find just off the Piazza the International Cafe. It's open 24 hours. It has specialty coffees, like your espresso coffees, and many snacks, sweets and croissants, etc. So it's more of a grab-and-go food option. The food is included in the cruise fare, but the specialty coffees are extra unless you have a package. The Sabatini's restaurant is another specialty restaurant. We didn't try this one on this voyage, but I have heard good things. It specializes in Italian cuisine. And this is the guest relations area. You'll find it on deck 5 if you have any issues during your cruise or you need to visit guest relations. Down at the front of the ship on deck 5, you'll find the Lotus Spa. Very relaxing space, and I highly recommend, if you want to get rid of your wife for an hour, send her to a massage so you can go drop some money in the slot machines. Also, there's a thermal area inside which is separate to the treatment rooms, and here you'll find the thermal pool and different hammam style rooms, steam room and sauna. It was a fairly small area, not a lot of options, but for $29 per person, you could book that on a sea day and have a little relax. Up to deck 16 now, where you find the main buffet called the World Fresh Marketplace. Now, this was an impressive buffet with lots of areas and plenty of different foods to try. The menu did change every day, so there was nothing that I can say bad about the food at this buffet. It could be difficult to find a seat, which is the one downside of using the buffet, especially on a sea day or if the main restaurants aren't open. But I think you find that on most cruise ships. So I will recommend trying the buffet, but come at a less busy time to get a seat. And the cakes were absolutely amazing. They're worth a mention. The decoration, you can see here, a lot of effort goes into these cakes, so Credits to the chefs. Up on sun deck, deck 18 now. This is overlooking the wake pool on deck 16, at the back of the ship behind. And the sun deck allows you to walk all around. You can see there's a jogging track here. The fitness center is also on deck 18, just inside. Lots of sun loungers, space to walk around and enjoy the views. The basketball courts is located here as well. And the views on this particular day, as we cruised up Oslo Fjord en route to Oslo, were absolutely stunning. Coming to the middle of the ship, this is the main activity area for the upper decks. So we've got live music, 2 main pools, both the same size. Great for swimming, nice deep pools, and plenty of hot tubs that never got too busy. Just coming up to Oslo, we passed a lot of villages, and there was some nice commentary provided by the bridge, explaining what we were passing on both sides, and just a breathtaking afternoon on this voyage into Oslo. Welcome to Oslo, our first port stop. It was a beautiful day and also well above 20 degrees. It was at the end of May, May 21st, so it was a bit surprising to see this great weather and all the locals out enjoying the sunshine and jumping into the North Sea. I think we were extremely lucky to find this weather in Norway in May. It was certainly better than what we left in Southampton. So the port for Oslo, where the cruise ships dock, is really convenient to the city center. If you don't have an excursion booked and you just want to walk around, you can see how close the ship. And coming into town, couldn't help but notice this tree. It looked normal enough from a distance, but on closer inspection, it was actually made of plastic. And I'd never seen anything that large in plastic form, and especially a tree. If you have, please provide your thoughts in the comments. So Oslo in general was pleasant to walk around, and it's clean, it's big, the streets are wide. The buildings are wonderful mix of old and new, and there are lilac bushes everywhere, which in May were in full bloom and just made for a really pleasant fragrance walk around. Fountains, lots of sculptures. The Norwegians do seem to like their sculptures. Also in Oslo, one of the main attractions is the sculpture park. But we could walk to the King's Palace, the Royal Palace. So this is where the King and Queen of Oslo, or of Norway, pardon me, actually live. It wasn't open to visit, but they do open it up in the summertime for visitors. However, you can still easily access it, both walking around the palace and the gardens surrounding it. It's all open to the public. Another sculpture. This one is wooden. And back to the ship after a pleasant port visit. On souvenir shopping, you don't have to go too far. This is as soon as you exit the ship, or before you get back on, there's still an opportunity for some shopping for souvenirs. Now back to the ship and moving again. Next stop is Skagen in Denmark. Now, can anyone tell me why all ships insist on installing a skywalk like this? If you like them, let us know. If you don't like them, let us know. But the obsession with putting skywalks into the ships, I don't understand. We've made it to Denmark. And this little fishing town, I would say, is called Skagen, S-K-A-G-E-N, but pronounced Skagen. And it was a cute little town. Really nice to walk around. The architecture is really quite sweet. But perhaps not much going on when there's not a cruise ship dock. Now this is a point of interest. It is Grenland, and this is seen from the ship. It is the point at the very top of Denmark where the Baltic Sea, which we are in, meets the North Sea. And those two seas collide at this point, and you can see it in the waves. So it was really fascinating piece of geography. If you're thinking of booking a cruise with Princess, and these are the different packages available, draw your attention to the package on the right side, the Princess Premier. Why I think this is worth the money is because it includes 2 specialty dining restaurants, unlimited Wi-Fi, a photo package, plus you've got the casual dining venues, the premium desserts that looked amazing. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough room to try these more than once, but those all come with the premium package, and an unlimited drinks up to $20. And when you see the selection of branded alcohols and what is included up to that $20 mark, and you get to try lots of different cocktails, lots of different brands you might not get a chance to, so I do think it's worth it in that regard. The Take 5 Jazz Bar, just located off the casino on Deck 6. Kind of found this by accident. They're doing live jazz events in here on a great cocktail menu. Just off of our room on Deck 8 was a laundromat. So a laundry room with washing machines, dryers, irons, ironing boards. So it's a great option, especially if you're on a longer cruise and don't want to use the laundry service. Just a quick touch-up. For example, if you need to iron a shirt or wash your clothes halfway through the cruise. Now, this is a quick room tour of the mini suite. The room we had was on Deck 8, Emerald Deck 704. Really impressed with the mini suite. Very spacious, as you can see. On a separated area, separated lounge area, which was separated by a curtain. This would also serve if you had more than 2 people in the room. And then a further blackout curtain out to the balcony. The balcony was an okay size. There's 2 chairs here for lounging. Good position at the back on Deck 8. And into the bathroom, which had a full-size bath with shower over bath, shampoo, shower gel, and really all the storage space you can ask for on a cruise ship. Good size for 2 people. You can fit up to 4 people in these mini suites. Hope you found this video informative. I'd just like to leave you with some final thoughts now of what we thought of the cruise as a whole. And definitely I mentioned the downside would be the entertainment wasn't up our street. But the other good points about the cruise, things we can't fault the food, the restaurants, the staff. Our room was fantastic, and both the spaces, the inside and outside spaces, were really enjoyable. The pool area was fantastic, and feels really good value for money with the Princess Premium package. And also the technology was a high point, so that made the cruise just feel more seamless, more enjoyable. And would I book Princess cruises in the future? I am interested in the Sun Princess, but I would want to check out the entertainment and see other reviews on before making that decision. Have you been on Sun Princess or a Princess cruise? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please have a look at the other videos of different cruises we've done. There'll be more coming up in the future, so do subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you next time.